How's it going, everybody? Doing a antique stores haul here today. It's not much of a haul, but I figured I'd call it that. And they came from, and all came from Antiques and Geeks. I'm filming this on Wednesday, but it's not going up Wednesday. I don't know if it's going up Thursday or Friday. So I went to town. It was nice out today. It was pushing 80. Went to town, walked around, hit the 3 antique stores, went to Antiques Mall, Collectors Mall, looking around there. Then I went to Antiques and Geeks second, and then I went to Flea Marketeers. I walked around a little bit, then I went in there. They had some more stuff in there, game-wise, Flea Marketeers, but Antiques and Geeks, I went to the spot where I got Buffy. Looked in there again, Crazy Taxi, still in there for $20. I was trying to spy some of the other games. There's some loose Genesis games in there that I was looking at, but I couldn't really tell what they all were. They had some PlayStation 1 games in there. I saw Driver in particular. But I went back up to the front thing. There's like a little front section in the front of the store. That's a decent amount of games, you know. Probably about as many as that other thing has where I got Buffy. Maybe a little less. And it's actually probably about the same between all the games. But they have a little bin on the bottom where I've gone in there and that's where I got Tales of Vesperia and Eternal Sonata for the 360. So I'm like, oh, it looks like there's some stuff in there. It looks like there's some more stuff in there. There's some decent stuff in there. Now, listen, this place has no return policy. And one of these, I've tested all 3 games I tested. I got 3 games. 2 of them work. One does not. It did not read the disc, which is fine. They were $2 a piece, which was shocking. So $6.41 after tax. But I'll start with the one that doesn't work. At first I saw this and I thought it was Cold Fear, because I saw Cold, but it's Cold Winter. This is the one that does not work. There's a serious disc rattle for you. I really need to get like a disc buffer or some kind of action that maybe can clean up some other discs that I have too. I took the chance on these. I never even heard of this game, to be honest with you. This also supported online multiplayer. Published by Sierra Swordfish Studios. Facing executioner for spying in China, a trusted friend from your past saves you at the last minute. You agree to work for his private security agency, but your first job may be your last. As a powerful secret society snares, I thought it said snores. That really does not look like an A. Snares you in their deluded schemes. That's great. Oh, you're an MI6 agent, disavowed. This disc is badly scratched. It didn't have the manual. I didn't check the discs. When I was in there, I opened them up. I was like, all right, the 2 didn't have the manuals. The 1 does. But this is brutally scratched. Like, I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't. I didn't read it. This is probably the cheapest of the 3 games, or maybe it's about price the other one. I'm taking the chance on $2. I never heard of the game. I was right in my feel that it had some value. Like, even without, if this disc was in good shape and it actually worked, you know, even without the manual, like, it sold for like $12, $13.99. But for now, I'm going to throw it with a lot of these other games that are scratched up. Some do work, some don't. I need to get like a cleaner, like even a buffing machine at some point for like $1.50 or something, and see if I can salvage some of these. But at $2, I'm taking the risk. If anything, I have a replacement case. The second one is In the Way, and it does work. It's a Bully Scholarship Edition. It doesn't have the manual either, and it has this 75 written on the inside. This does work. I threw it on briefly. This disc was in alright shape. I did play Scholarship. I did not play the original Bully on the PS2. I played Scholarship Edition on the 360. It was a cool freaking game. You're this, whatever his name is, give you his name, Jimmy Hopkins. You go to prep the school. You're going to classes and doing stuff, and then you're going get into fights with other bullies. And you're not really a bully. I guess you're bullying the bullies. And then you do stuff outside of the school, kind of in the town and stuff. It's a really cool game, and this does work. I might mess with it again on the Wii, or I might just sell it. This is another one like disc and case, sell like $12, $13.99. Against $2 though. Is solid. Now this last one's the first one I saw, and I was like, why is this in the cheap bin? And then I looked and it said $2. I'm like, it can't be in there. And the disc was in there. Now this disc has some interesting marks on it, but it does work. I played it for about 20 minutes. Now, this is my second copy of this one. I am going to sell the copy I had gotten in a garage sale because this one was $641 or $642. Each game is like, what, $214 a piece. The other one I got that G sale was $1.25, and that's in better shape. So I'm going to probably swap out the case for this, but it's a PlayStation game, and it's Resident Evil Director's Cut. This was $2. I was like, no. And then I got outside. Like I left and I walked and I sat on a bench. I'm checking the discs. This disc has some injury. It has an injury. You're not going to be able to see the mark. That concerned me, but it went on. Other than that, it's a lot of light stuff. Now, could that maybe screw up later down the line in the game? Possibly. So I'd be more comfortable selling my other copy that's in better shape. It does have the manual. There's a crack on the front of the case, which you can see, and there's another some damage here as well. Crack there, but $2. Like I was taking the risk on this too, because if it didn't work, I'm like, well, I'll take the case and the manual, probably swap it out with a better case and the manual. I sell those, you know. But it does work. And now I'm confident enough to at least say, I'm going to hold on to this. Most people don't do that, right? They'll be like, I'm going to sell the weaker copy. Me, I'm like, I'll hold on to that one. And I'll sell the better copy because then there's less issue of there being a problem, right? Because I'm not going to play this game for 5 hours to see if it screws up at some point, you know? But the fact that this was sitting in that bin, I was like, I saw that. I was like, no. I'm like, it can't be in there. I pop it open. I'm like, the disc is actually in there. The manual's in good shape. I was like, once again, I'm taking the risk. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I almost got Thief Deadly Shadows for the Xbox. I do like the game, the original Xbox. It didn't have its manual, and it had its artwork, but it was in a generic case. If it's still in there next time I'm in there, I might grab it because I have some older Xbox games that I don't have the games. I just have the cases. I might just swap that out. That case is out, so it has a legit case. Because Thief's a cool game, and $2 is a pretty good price for that. It's probably about a $10 or $12 game. It's not overly expensive. That's complete too. So there's some other decent stuff in there. I was surprised. There's some Genesis sports titles for $2, but I already have them all. Like Bulls vs. Blazers was in there. I think. Bulls vs. Celtics was also in there. GTA 5 was floating around in there for 360. So they got a little more stock. Somebody brought some shit in, and they chucked it into the $2 bin. Like I said, I saw this in there. I was like, what? Now, they might have looked at that disc and be like, this thing don't work. Or whoever brought it in, maybe they've played it far enough, and it just didn't work at a point. I don't know. For me, personally, I like having this game because it's cool. It plays like shit these days, right? This one you could at least use using the thumbsticks now, the DualShock. But I use the DualShock to the PlayStation 2 controller because I'm playing these on the PlayStation 2. And that's fine. If it screws up, if I happen to play it longer and it screws up, so be it. I'd rather sell the better copy and have someone get the copy that I know shouldn't have an issue. Like that one I played for a little bit longer, but that doesn't have any weird marks on it. That disc is in fairly good condition, so I have no problem keeping this copy and selling that one. But I just couldn't believe that. 2 Bones. Like, this, if it didn't work, I could still sell the case and the manual for probably $10, $12, and at least make the money back, you know? It's a shame this doesn't work, but like I said, it's a $2 risk. You know, it doesn't, whatever. I mean, I guess I could have checked the disc in the store, but I just grabbed them. Because most of the time, even with scratches, a lot of these discs will still work. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily comfortable selling them. Because if you people all know, right? You know, Xbox, any kind of disc-based system, my PS2s are not in the best of shape. I have a Slim and the original model. Sometimes they struggle with discs and then they work. But I've had some that don't work in the fat PS2, and then in the Slim they work. It all depends on your system. So, when a disc is badly scratched, it could work on yours, but not work on somebody else's. Like if their eye or whatever, their disc reader, the lens is maybe a little faded or something. Who knows? Whatever the problem is, it might not work. So I'm more comfortable selling my original copy. It's not over expensive. I have stuff like $30. It's not like the end all be all in games, but I'm just because I planned on keeping that copy. Obviously, I didn't sell it. I got that like 2 years ago, 3 years ago at this point. Well, not full 3, but I'll just swap it out with this. I mean, the other case might have a crack in it too, because that was in the trunk when we got into that accident before we left to come down here. So I think the case got a little cracked, but that was maybe Tecmo Super Bowl. I don't know. $2 on that, awesome, and that's encouraging for me to go back there and know that they occasionally get some newer stuff in. That's kind of cool because that's the problem with antique places. Like they're not getting the flow in, right? Like a straight up video game store, like on East End Gaming on Long Island, Video Game Trading Post. They're getting a lot of trade and they're getting a lot of supply. I need to go back to the Toy Busters because I feel like they would get more games in. Maybe not as much as the Antiques and Geeks because they have combined. They have a lot. So it's not even if they're getting them in. I guess it's the vendors that are paying for spots in there. They're getting stuff as they go along. Or I don't know if I gotta ask them next time in there. Like, do you guys just accept stuff? Like the people that own the place themselves or work there. Like, I wonder if they take stuff in, and maybe that little front thing is their area. I don't know. So, but still, Resident Evil Director's Cut, great pickup at $2. Like even with the cracked case and stuff, like that's still a great deal. Like I said, shame about this one, but what are you gonna do? If it was Cold Fear, I'd be more pissed. Because if it was Cold Fear, I would just keep it. But I saw the Cold because it was like underneath something else. Bully might have been on top of it. I saw Cold. I was like, oh, I like that. It's not Cold Fear. And like I said, it's a game I never heard of. It's and Bully Scholarship Edition on the way. So this is graphically going to look like the PS2 one, maybe a tad better. Bully, but yeah. I might mess around with that one and play it, but like I said, I played that game. God, when did I play that game? It probably would have been before I started this channel, so it might have been like 2014, 2015 or some shit. I would assume this came out the same time as the 2008. No, 2006, but that says 2008 as well. I think it originally came out. No, it says 2006 Nintendo. But that says 2008. 2006, 2008. Did the original come out in 06? I'm pretty sure the first Bully was a later PS2 title, right? I don't know. Either way, I played it well after it came out. That's another one I got at garage of like $2, $3, and I played that one through and ended up selling it after I played it. But anyway, just a little antique store haul pickups. But thanks for checking this out.